I grew up in hip-hop culture. I believe in freestyling. Freestyling is where you do it from the top of your head. So let's be hollow reeds. I want to be a hollow reed. I want to know what's your plan. Why are we here tonight? We're learners. We're nerds and no experts in the room. So tell me, why are you here? You know, there's a lot you could be doing. It's cold outside, but it's a little warm. You could be doing some laundry. I have 4 kids, 3 boys. The sock situation in my house is out of control. Okay. I know some laundry emails you need to answer. You know, sitting at this, looking at this Bob Marley wannabe. Why are you here?
I have a question.
Yes.
I know that detachment and selflessness that's the means that we become tools for God. You know what I mean? That's,
right.
We make ourselves available in that way.
He wants you to use the mic.
I'll just say that I understand that being selfless, being detached, is the way that I make myself available to grace, so that I can do what God has created me to do. But there seems to be an awful lot of very insidious programming that makes us dislike ourselves. You know, have low self-esteem. You know, on the TV, everything's about fear. You know, and not feeling good about yourself. So it's like, you know, and I know this is a hard question, and I struggle with this, but you know, it's like I'm looking for the balance between, you know, healthy self-esteem. I know Baha'i had self-esteem, but not. It was uppercase self-esteem.
Right.
The balance, you know.
For me, sister, what I'm working on is forgetting soul esteem. And soul esteem to me is really looking at like God's my best friend. God's my ultimate lover. And, you know, people call God many things. Allah, God is Yahweh, Wankantanka, Great Spirit, so many different names. Science. You know, scientific phenomenon. That's when they acknowledge God. I can't explain that. But soul esteem for me is really examining that relationship I have with God. And so that means, you know, when I'm feeling irritated or I say something or do something that I know was harmful, maybe emotionally, socially violent, gossip, you know, really fast. You know why people gossip? It's because it's intimate. It's a distortion of intimacy. When people think of intimacy, oftentimes they think of sex. That's the distortion of intimacy. Intimacy is connection. We're having an intimate conversation right now. There's mental intimacy, there's social intimacy, there's emotional intimacy, there's physical intimacy, and then there's the other intimacy. And so with gossip, we get our intimacy fix, you know. Baha'u'llah teaches us that gossip and backbiting is worse than murder. Because in some cultures on this planet, you could kill a person socially to the point that they would want to kill themselves. So really fast on the self, like with gossip, that's one I have to work on a lot. I'm struggling with, you know. And because I realize it's an intimacy fix. Like when people are just talking about life and what's going on, we're like, yeah, how's it going? But the minute we start gossiping, it's like our voices change. It gets all sultry. Really? Oh my God. Close the door. You know? It's an intimacy fix. It's a distortion. And so I have to look at like, wow, do I want to be this, to distort this intimacy with these people? And what is that doing with the intimate relationship with my Creator? The word Mexico is actually not a Spanish word. The word Mexico is actually pronounced Mexica. It's a palabra de indígenas. And what I mean by palabra de indígenas, it's a word of the indigenous. The word Mexico is pronounced Mexica. And the Mexica were people of the region to the south. And they have a language, and it's called Nahuatl. And in Nahuatl, there's a phrase called in la kesh. And in la kesh means you are my other me. Tú eres mi otro me. That we're each other's mirrors. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but when you put two mirrors facing each other, what happens? It's infinity. It goes on forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. What prevents us from seeing the infinite possibility between all of us? The infinite possibility that exists between every human soul. It's the smoke between the mirrors. The smoke that's in our eyes, the smoke that's in our brain. In the Bible, they call that clouds. that the clouds will be parted. And we got to clear this smoke. So you talk about those forces around us. House of Justice mentions that there's all these insidious forces around us that will distract us from seeing the infinite possibilities in each other, the infinite possibilities that exist, not within our bodies, not within our minds, but within our soul. So I'm going on soul esteem. And with that, that means I have to be ever vigilant. You know, hey, my name is Calvin Byron Terrell Jr. I'm racially prejudiced. I have gender prejudice, age, generational, religious, belief prejudice. I've been an agent of white supremacy. I've been an agent of sexism, homophobia. And you know what? I've been decolonized now for about 15 years. Decolonization of my mind, that's that freeing the mind, but through working through the soul. A lot of Baha'is sometimes will think like, oh, I'm prejudice-free. I have embraced the Baha'u'llah. I don't have any bias, any prejudice.
I've been healed.
Yeah, I've been to the mountaintop, right? Bull. You're never there. We're working on it daily, minute by minute, moment by moment. You know when I'm always confronted with my prejudice is when I'm driving. You know, somebody cuts me off, stereotype comes to mind. Be about gender, race, generation, age, socioeconomics. I'm like, there it is. There it is. Got to work on it. So, for me, the soul esteem evolution, because I used to be a revolutionary, chasing power. Nah, let's spiritually evolve. Let's break out of the cycle of revolution. That's that Hindu, that karmic wheel. Baha'u'llah's revelation. This is time to spiritually evolve, to break out of the wheel. New language, new lifestyles, new forms. Baha'is have been referred to as the new race of man. What's the new race? It's a race of souls. So, others, why are you here tonight?